December 7th, 2008, TNA decided to have two Final Resolutions, one in January and one in December. And let me tell you something real quick as we get ready to do this review. I was a little confused because I don't remember them being two Final Resolutions until I was on YouTube. And I was confused when Christian Cage was there and Kurt Angle and all these people was going on. This event happened at Orlando, Florida, at the TNA Impact Zone. The attendance was 1,200 people, and the tagline was "Respect is earned." And with that being said, this is the Big Pop Theory podcast. We're on YouTube. We do retrospects. Do us a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification button for this recording. And please, as we get ready to put down this graphic, let us know what you thought about this pay-per-view. I'm one of your hosts here. Let's take down this lovely graphic. I'm one of your hosts, the Great Grand Slam Pooba. I'm joined with the smartest guy in the room, Rich Kings, and our favorite Mark, the casual one, Mark Wins. Gentlemen, how are you folks?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm excited to review some TNA.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm doing pretty well. Can't complain. Let's get into this. But you got some announcements for us. Let's go.
Yeah, so a few things. We're just shooting the shit a little bit off air, and I was running by some things, and I just want to hear you guys' thoughts. And sometimes I like when we add a little bit of like news and everything like that because it kind of pumps the blood for the show, right? So a few things here. One of them, let's talk about your guy here, Mark Wins. Bill Goldberg. This man sits here. He had his retirement match a few months back, right? He goes against Gunther, Saturday Night Main Event, his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. He goes out losing, but you know what? He got a retirement match. Not a lot of people get a retirement match. You never know when your last match is, but he got a retirement match. Bill Goldberg was not happy about any of this. Bill Goldberg has revealed that he might be planning to come out of retirement to have one more dream match. He is open to considering AEW. Everyone knows how I feel about Bill Goldberg. Bill Goldberg got on my nerve in the 1990s. So I in 2000, I feel like now at this point I'm being held hostage. And I don't know why. I don't know what I've done to deserve any of this. But he's sitting here saying he considers AEW. And I said off air to you guys, that's AEW's problem. But he said he considered AEW, so it means like he probably is looking at all avenues because there's AEW. I don't think he would do TNA and all different other wrestling companies. But let me guys ask you this. In 2025, do you want another Bill Goldberg retirement match?
I'll go first here, and I'll leave the rest to Mark, since he is the real fan here. And he didn't deserve the last one. I mean, like, do I want to see a second one? I didn't want to see the first one. The guy is just, listen, he was what he was. Like, he at the 90s, it was his dominant force. Came back to WWE, had a couple of stints. It is what it is. I think he got more than what anybody else could expect. And that was it. Like, I'm just not a big Goldberg fan. I'm not too sure what more do you want? I think you're being greedy at this point. Like, you want more than you deserved? Man. I mean, so I'm going to leave it back to you. I'm not going to continue to go on this. I'm not going to have a rant. He does not deserve a rant. How about that? So, Goldberg, you don't deserve a rant. You don't deserve another match. And you need to sit at home in Georgia and just relax. Mr. Wins.
You said you're not going to go on a rant. I'm going to go on a rant because, yes, I am a Goldberg fan. I love the spectacle. I love the dominance. I love the annihilation. I loved it all. Like, he was incredible. He has, if I'm remembering this correctly, he has a championship in 4 different decades. That's actually insane. And his run from 2016 to 2025, it is the run of dreams. Like 90 to 95% of that roster would take that run and appreciate all the money they got from it, all the accolades, all the everything. Because like he done beat so many people that I'm not gonna sit here and say that he had no business beating them, but I could understand why someone would say that. But at the end of the day, it is Goldberg. But then for you to come out looking how you did, and for him to come out looking how he did in his last match, where he was injured, he didn't have the aura, he was hobbled, he needs to stay home. Like, he needs to not be in another match, whether it's WWE, AEW. It doesn't matter where he decides he wants to wrestle. He should retire. He should have cut his losses from whenever his last match was. To my knowledge, his last match before Gunther was Drew McIntyre, I think. If I'm wrong, somebody can correct me.
What is what?
The match that he had before Gunther. It was Drew McIntyre, right?
I think it was Roman Reigns.
Really? Okay. Well, like I said, whoever his last opponent was before Gunther, that should have been it, right? And he's complaining, oh my goodness, I didn't get a retirement match, da 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 da. And it's like, bro, your run was insane. Like, why are you? What are we complaining about? Your run was literally insane. There is maybe, let me think, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. You can argue Cody. That maybe had a better fucking run. Like, I don't understand why he's like, oh yeah, I need another retirement match. It's like, no, stop it. And then here's my thing, right? If I'm comparing him to like Flair, right? Because Flair done came out of retirement a million times, and like Flair admits it. He wanted the money, and I do think that Flair genuinely loves wrestling. Like, the fact that he's not wrestling anymore is actually surprising to me in and of itself. But Goldberg, man, like Goldberg, like he wants this. He needs to know, like, yo, his legacy is set. But like, even with his legacy being set, and he can technically do what he wants, him keep coming back out of retirement or trying to get this last match, it makes him look dumb. It really does. Like, because I'm a Goldberg fan, and this shit looks silly to me. Like, I don't know what else to say other than he needs to not do it, because he looked really sad that last match. Like, I didn't feel the aura. I didn't feel like I heard the crowd, but
I just want to say this. I love that. I want to give a shout out to you because, like, you're a Bill Goldberg fan and you say that out loud. So I commend you on your bravery on that. But I did want to sit here and say this. While Goldberg held a championship in 4 decades, I just want to say the GOAT, Bret the Hitman Hart, held it in 5.
Which 5 decades?
I'm glad that you asked, because I wanted to Google just to be sure, because I don't want to just say anything, like, you want to make sure that you got your facts and stuff. 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, and the 2010s, because his last championship was the United States Championship. He beat The Miz on episode of Raw. It was shenanigans, no doubt, but I don't care. So I just want to sit here and say, Goldberg, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Bill Goldberg, you have a lot of catching up to do. You'll never be the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you have been excellently executed, sir. But let me get into my last piece. Well, it's 2. But I'll say the last one because it leads into the TNA stuff, right? But the other one I wanted to talk about with you guys is John Cena. He's having his final match next Saturday at Saturday Night Main Event. Has been said here. I didn't watch the Jimmy Kimmel interview, but I've been seeing this online a lot today. We record on a Thursday. We're airing this on a Sunday for you guys. Let me make sure I got that correctly. But John Cena, he talks about in his final match, he's going to be opening Saturday Night Main Event instead of being the main event. And I think that's ballsy as hell, because usually it's the attraction, right? The attraction is the main event. So to hear this, I sit here and say, this is a whole different avenue. And from what I was gathering here is he pretty much wants the spotlight being on the younger talent, the new talent, the NXT talent, because we're going to get a mix of both main roster and NXT talent, which I think is fantastic if you ask me. So, gentlemen, I give you the floor here. What do you think about the move about John Cena opening instead of main eventing?
I'll sort of here again real quick. So I think this goes back to the last show we reviewed. Does John Cena have creative control? And this clearly says yes once again. So John Cena wants to open the show, and at this point, I think I'm not saying that people come in late casually, but I remember that time it was WrestleMania this year. Like we were like scrambling to get in the Uber, like we were ready to go, but scrambling to get to WrestleMania on time. Now, if you know what the opening is of John Cena's match, every behind is going to be in the seat, right? And I think, my phrase is, how you start the show is how you're going to end the show, right? And I think you're going to get a very, very good match at Saturday Night Main Event between, I believe it's going to be Gunther versus him. And I think that's going to be a tone setter for the future. So like he said, he doesn't want it to be about him, but I think when you think about what he's saying, like he wants the talent or to be focused on the end. And I do think Gunther will beat him. And that's the best segue, right? Let me lose, let me bow out, Gunther wins, and on with him and on with the rest of NXT in the mix of the wrestling brands. So what do you say, Mark?
I mean, I don't have an issue with it because it's not the final John Cena match that I would have wanted. So I don't have an issue with him starting the party off. You make great points, Rich Kings, about how he wants the show to be focused on the future. The fact that his last match is going to be first will make sure that butts are in seats as soon as possible. And if because it is his last match, it's not something you're going to want to miss. And I don't think he's going to do a Goldberg where he's going to want another retirement match and another retirement match and another retirement match. Obviously, you got to do the never say never thing. Like maybe one day he'll pop up in a match in several years because of some storyline, and he has some free time in between Hollywood appearances, and he'll do it for the fans. But as far as this is his last run, so I don't have an issue with it. The only reason, but not the only reason, like I said, but like I alluded to, if it were up to me, this is not how I would have booked his run, but I don't want to open up that can of worms. Not today, because I may have other cans of worms to open later in the show. So, fuck.
Well, I love it, but I did read this on X, and I'm not too sure if this was a typo or a mistake or what it was, but there was this ad for John Cena to be appearing on the Raw after WrestleMania. So I don't know what the hell that's about. I don't know if that was a mistake.
Yeah, I saw that too. I try to be careful. I'm really tripidaeus when it comes to a lot of like what goes on and what you see on the internet and stuff like that, because like you don't know what to confirm and what not to confirm. And sometimes I hear people and they say I have sauces, and meanwhile it's just barbecue sauce. And like I'm like, okay, what do you even? And Mark was hearing me all last week and saying this. What are we even chatting about? So I don't know how. Like I don't have a lot of pennies into that. If that hopefully that we can make that the same. But I don't have a lot to invest in that. And I would sit here and say, because even then they're saying, I remember seeing something online and they're like, well, John Cena, they're thinking about putting him in the 2026 Hall of Fame. I'm like, he just retired. Like, we don't even have to rush that. Like, I think we can give some space into it. But I did want to ask you guys this real quick, and we'll get to the last piece here. But John Cena, do you feel that it's a good move? I heard you guys, and you were saying, like, a lot of you, both gentlemen, you were saying, like, no problem with this, right? Him opening the show. Do you think it's a bad move for him to open the show? Because I was reading some online, and I just want to get you collect your guys' thoughts here. So a lot of people feel like if John Cena opens, that everyone's going to turn off Saturday Night Main Event. Do you think that's good? That's a like how do you feel like that's going to be a thing? Like people are going to stop watching once John Cena has done his match?
How many Saturday Night Main Events have John Cena not been on so far this year? And I'll ask, what was the rating then? And how many pay-per-views so far or special events that John Cena missed this year? Like he's not carrying the company anymore. Like that baton has been passed. So yeah, there's definitely gonna be a segment of people that's gonna watch it, but the same people, right? Like, so if you're telling me I know John Cena's the main event, those same people might not just watch the whole show. They're just gonna tune in onto the main event. So you can't. It's gonna be either way, regardless. So whether he starts the show or ends the show, those people will only invest into that. they're only going to tune into that match at that point. You get a view regardless.
Besides, okay, so I'm not all the way privy on how Saturday Night Main Event works these days. Is that a show that's a show that still pops up on like live TV, or is it just streaming? You're muted.
It's on the Peacock app.
It's only on Peacock. You can't watch it on like Channel 4 or something like that.
No. Yeah.
So then it doesn't even matter whether they tune in or tune out or not. If they just want to see Cena's last match, they will just see Cena's last match. So it really doesn't matter whether it's the main event. Well, okay, I guess it should either be the opening or the main or the last match. But it as long as it's not, a mid-card match, it doesn't really matter because they have been treating opening matches like main event matches here and there. So it's not like I said, it's not like, oh, he's in the middle of the card. If he was in the middle of the card, then let's throw a riot. Other than that,
I'm laughing because Cheap Plug, that was a song I want to say in SVR 2007. Let's start a riot, fucking riot. I think that was a 3-day grace. Great band, by the way. And a lot.
That wasn't. They didn't. Sorry. They didn't. That's not censored. Like there's just a blank in there. It feels like it should be a fucking riot, but it's not.
It's just that pause in the middle. You're right, because I remember listening to like the explicit, and I'm like, because they said fuck a lot in that song, but it wasn't for that part. So no, you're right. It's just like I don't know why. I always felt like
it should have been there. I agree.
Start a fucking riot. I might have to listen to that before I go to sleep tonight. So I'm going to wake up in the morning with a lot of rage. And the last piece of news, because it leads to TNA. TNA has got a TV deal. They were on Access TV for many, many years. And now they have AMC. They're on AMC. And I think this is fantastic news. I think this is great news. TNA has been getting a little bit of a buzz lately. They partnered up with NXT. I just want to throw out the greatest TNA knockout champion of all time, JC Jane. I just wanted to throw that out there. But all seriousness, I think this is fantastic news for them. I've been always pro more companies. I hear sometimes people when they go like, "Oh, this company should go out of business" and all this stuff, and I just think it's like that's kind of whack. Like, why would you want to go out of business? So I'm glad that TNA is got a TV deal, and I feel like more people have AMC than Access. I remember I had Access, and my joke was, this channel is called Access TV, and I have no access to it at all. So I think this is fantastic. I think this is great news. I don't know if you gentlemen want to have anything before we talk about TNA Final Resolution, but floor is yours before we go into talk about some TNA.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I don't really watch TNA these days, but like you said, the more wrestling companies that are on TV, the better for everybody that's trying to be on TV. It gives everybody more options, everybody more exposure. If maybe you can't, if you as a wrestler think that AEW is the big time, and maybe you can't hit that yet, you go to TNA. Or if you think WWE is the big time, but you can't hit that yet, maybe you go to AEW. At the end of the day, competition is competition, and it's supposed to, make everybody better. Now, depending on who you ask in the wrestling sphere, everything is shit. But I don't have enough in the game to sit there and say that, because I don't really watch it. I don't watch AEW. I don't watch TNA, and I barely watch WWE. Every so often I'll see a Hog show and someone from one of the three promotions will be there, and I'll be like, oh, I kind of sort of know that person. And every time I see one of those people from the three, they rock the house. So yeah, I have no problem with TNA having access to a better television channel.
Matter of fact, I actually have a video for that. Before Rich King said it, he made a joke. Make that joke one more time.
It's nice that they have access to a better TV channel.
Why is his mouth so dirty?
Don't do that to the blue blur.
He's been through some type of battle. I don't remember which one.
That might have been. Was that the one where, like, towards the final, like, what was it called? The Matarax?
Matarax? Yeah, look, I don't remember. Especially, never mind. That's a whole different podcast. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can make a Sonic podcast next year. Rich Kings, please take the floor here, and then please lead the charge.
Yeah, so we're reviewing one of the two Final Resolutions in 2008, as the great mentioned earlier. And around this time I was not I won't say a TNA fan. I think kind of like was losing my lust a little bit for wrestling until it got brought back later on in the years. And I was hearing my great friends over here talk about how great TNA is, and we had the great Jean Baptiste, who's not here today, to share what he used to call TNA, or total nonstop assholes. But that's the only reason why I just like, what, let's give TNA a try. So I did give TNA a try. I think maybe it was 2006, 2007, and I never really watched the pay-per-views because I wasn't just interested. So it was great to review this and get a different appreciation for the company. Have some of my thoughts I'll share throughout this night. Let's just kick this off, right? So, like I said, we're at the second part of the December 2008 Final Resolution, and we started off with this kind of feast or fired match. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they explained what was going on, and I still was lost. I'm like, what? Like, what are we doing? So, just to remind you of the participants in this match: Curryman, Hernandez, Homicide, Jay Lethal, Alex Shelley, more than Machine Gun. Just let's go there. Consequences Creed, Cute Kip, Jimmy Ray, Rav, Lance Rock, Sonjay Dutt, and Shark Boy. Sanjay, yeah. So
no, you got it.
I'm gonna give my opinions a little bit later on this match, but this to me was chaos. And when I think about chaos, I think about Mark. So Mark, give us your opinions about this lovely, confusing match.
The Feast of Fire. So this match was absolutely chaos. I enjoyed it though. Like, I don't know. Like, now I can sit there and say there's a little bit of nostalgia bias going on here, but I will get to why I have the nostalgia bias later in the show, because I know exactly what happened. But it was definitely chaos, and it was really interesting. There was definitely a spot where what happened here? Definitely a lot going on. Someone did a springboard move while someone was getting beat up, and the camera didn't even really catch it. Like, they were focused on someone getting beat up. Meanwhile, here comes this springboard move. It was a whole. It was a shit show, and I loved every fucking moment of it. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it was great.
I fucking love it.
I did. I really did. It has something to do with the pacing. But like I said, I'm gonna get into that later. We have Hernandez getting border tossing someone to get the fourth case. That was pretty cool. Curryman, I think he stands on somebody's back to get the third case. Somebody tries to
Homicide. That was Homicide.
Oh, okay. Homicide got on top of somebody's back to get the right.
Yeah.
Does that mean Homicide got case number 1?
Hold on. Give me 1 second,
because Hernandez got 4. Homicide got 2. Homicide got case number 2.
I thought
because no. Jay Lethal
got 1.
Homicide got 1, right? Because Jay Lethal got 2, and then Curryman got 3. I don't know. Do you guys know the results of the whatchamacall? Because I looked it up.
I did take a quick look. Oh, so what was going on here, right? So
yeah, what happened? What was inside the cases? Because at the end we saw that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you guys know what?
So Homicide, he got.
If you want to skip ahead, we know Jay Lethal had the tag team title shot, right?
Correct.
Now that we need the support. Did you guys got that piece?
Yeah, I got that.
Support? What do you mean? I'm sorry.
Like, what happened with the rest of the cases?
Oh,
Hernandez,
Yeah,
Hernandez got a world title match.
Yeah.
Homicide got an X Division title match, and Curryman got fired. He got the pink slip.
Well, you know who was. Oh, go ahead, please. No.
Yeah, okay. Because I don't remember who Curryman was, because they were trading all the masked characters and whatnot all over the place. So I don't remember who did what. But in my mind, I was like, they got rid of Curryman to probably. Well, no, because not Red. Amazing Red is Suicide, right?
Mm-mm.
No, not
that was who was that? I forgot who that was actually. Now I don't know, but I don't think it was Red. I don't think so. I forgot who it was, because at one point they were saying Christopher Daniels, but then somebody else took the role, but I don't remember who it was.
So that's what I'm saying. I could have swore. I don't know. Whatever. All I know is they might have gotten rid of Curryman to either get Christopher Daniels back or to fill in the role for Suicide, who comes in later in the match. Spoiler alert. But later in the show. Spoiler alert. But overall, I did enjoy this match. It was absolute chaos. You can tell that the production is second, if not third rate, because they could not catch the proper action when they need. Like they caught a decent amount of spots, but there were definitely some spots that they just straight up missed. Motor City Machine Guns was wilding, and
They were wilding.
Yeah, they were wilding until they weren't. They were wilding until they weren't, and then Jay Lethal comes in with the baseball slot because they have the Motor City Machine Guns for whatever reason had no in-ring awareness. You know who had more in-ring awareness in this particular moment? The ref, because the ref, like, they tried after the match, they tried to grab the they tried to grab the briefcase, and with the power of Ultra Instinct, the ref was like, no. But yes, overall, great match. I enjoyed it. I can understand why you wouldn't, though, because it was chaos.
All right, the great. And just for a quick side, for Suicide, I have the answers here. So whoever Frankie is, then
Frankie
Kazarian.
Yeah, so Frankie, he was the first one. Did Christopher Daniels multiple times. Austin Aries played the role. T.J. Perkins and Kyoshi.
I heard of Perkins.
Kyoshi.
That last one. Yeah, no, that last one. But you said Perks, right? T.J. Perkins.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, I know him. Yeah, and I remember him. I do remember because at the end, he stopped being Suicide and it was like Manic or something like that. They switched it for. I forgot why, but I do remember that at the end. But that earlier, because Curryman was Daniels, so it's just funny that all these, because even now, this is not the first Feast of Fire, right? So they had it before, correct, and Daniels got fired, and then he's playing Curryman, and he gets fired. It's almost like it was a joke at this point. Like, hey, what can I would feel like TNA was like, what's a running joke we could keep going with? Let's just fire Christopher Daniels. Like, it was almost Christopher Daniels was Jazzy Jeff for Fresh Prince, where every time he got tossed out of the mansion or whatever. You was talking about this match, and it was chaotic. Like, even in Mike and shout out to Mike today and Don West, they were the commentary team on here. But I do want to ask you, you can save this when you give your thoughts here, Rich Kings. What did you think about them as a commentary team? Because I know, like, once again, when we chat a lot, he always mentioned, like, this is the soundtrack. These are the guys talking, and we all have our favorites on commentary team and stuff like this. So I'm totally interested in hearing what you thought about them as a team. But yeah, the match was chaotic. It was hard to keep up with everything. Like, I didn't even bother to take notes. When I saw there was more than like 4 men, I said, I'm not writing no notes for this. There's just too many people in this match. Hernandez is just a big fucking dude. Like, when he did the border tours, and when he does the border tours, you have to see when he does in the ring. He literally tosses you. It's not, he doesn't fall down with you or nothing. He goes, he raises you even higher. I know if I'm in that predicament, I'm like, I'm looking at the heavens just saying, please. I gotta say, if I could just talk about like some of the superstars, Jay Lethal was over. Like, Jay Lethal was pretty over there. The Black Machismo stuff, I thought it was fantastic for him. Matter of fact, I thought it was funny when the commentator was like, and he's fighting his nemesis, Sanjay Dutt. And I was like, all right, Sanjay took his girl from him. Because I remember, like, they were supposed to get married. It was I forgot what her name is. Jeez, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on her name. Velvet or something like that. I'm so blanking on her name. But I thought it was a fun opener. I think this was a fun opener. I love the stuff with the motor machine guns at the end. I was laughing so hard because every time, like, they never left the ring. They're talking about they never left. And every time JB was trying to talk, and you see JB like, gentlemen, please. Just like, and eventually JB loses his shit, and JB is like, yo, you guys are assholes. There's a part where he said total nonstop a-holes, and I wish, and it's so sad because the guy who learned, he's not here. Like, I know this is us pulling the curtain back a little bit, but like for years he would say total nonstop ass, and he's not here. You know what? He might get a pink slip, but but nonetheless, I thought the match was fun, and I think this was a fun way to open up the show. It was chaotic, but I feel like that TNA crowd, they knew what to expect. and watching this, it was kind of fun. It was just hard to just keep up with everything, but nonetheless, it was fun. So, Rich Games, please, we're very bated breath, ready to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I'll round us out here. So, obviously, I'm getting confused. I'm like, can I get like some subtitles of what's going to happen here? Help! Like, I'm lost, right? And then I see people coming down to the ring, but the music from TNA is not stopping. So I'm like, is this like, what are we doing? Is this a lumberjack?
Oh, that was that. Yeah, that's that TNA production, man, where they did not give everybody their theme. They just had some random generic
crap. And I'm just like, what is happening? So I finally figure out what's going on when I see these chained up briefcases. But we have to get the briefcases. Got it. And in one of these briefcases, somebody's going to get fired. Okay, this makes sense. So the match itself was, a lot of impact. And that there was just, I think my only issue with it is there's just too many people, and they were just fillers. They were just outside the ring, not even paying any attention to the briefcase. If the object is to get the briefcase, you spent, like, Sharp Boy, I don't even think he entered the match. He was not in the ring ever. Like, was he ever in the ring? Like, I saw him outside.
He was. He hit like 3, 4, 5 stunners.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember seeing that. I must have been like, I must have been looking up for somebody else. It was just a lot going on. But the match was a lot moving on. I did appreciate some of the spots. So like we talked about the like a homicide stepping on top of the other guy to get the briefcase. That was cool. I appreciated what Jay Lethal did, like jumping off a springboard, stealing it, and baseball sliding out of there. I think that was clever. But there was also moments too where I think that it could have been, how do you extend this, right? Where's the suspense? So the first person, Hernandez, got a briefcase. I felt there's very little suspense on him getting the briefcase. Nobody really challenged it. So I think overall the match was fun and moving around, but I wanted to see a little bit more back and forth on who's going to get the briefcase. I felt like a lot of times it was just somebody got the briefcase and on to the next briefcase, on to the next storyline. And then to find out that everybody's just waiting in the entrance the whole time. So if I'm Homicide and Hernandez, you're my teammate, I'm going to help you get this briefcase. You just stand out here just watching me wrestle this match. Help me. Right? What's going on here? So, hey, it was good. And I appreciate the fact that Jay Lethal got the briefcase and they showed him getting the tag team title shot. I guess his teammate was Consequences Creed, it seems like, because they gave each other a high five. But
do you recognize who that gentleman was?
Oh, it's Gabriel Woods, of course. But what I did not appreciate, that cheesy voice from Jay Lethal just really, really got me good. I hate that.
You don't like wait, so it's supposed to be his Macho Man Randy Savage.
And I'm not a big Macho Man fan. So when I heard that, it was like the screeching of a chalkboard in my ears. I'm like, this is awful. Turn this off. But I do like some Jay Lethal. I think he's a great wrestler, a great talent. I happy to see that he won the match, and it was pretty good. Pretty good showing. All right. On to the next match here. So
I'm sorry. I don't want to take too much time here. But I feel very, very remiss if I didn't throw us out there. Yeah. I loved how Curry Man grabbed the briefcase and hopped out the ring. I feel like that should be mentioned. When he somersault, he was like, "Where do I go?" And he just does a homing attack. I loved all of it. I just felt like that should have been mentioned. That's why I just wanted to say that. I truly apologize. So please take the floor.
No problem. But that was pretty funny too. Yes. So on to the next match. And I was like totally lost here with Sharmella and this other lady having into an argument that led to this match. So I'm like, so ODB, Roxy, and Taylor Wilde was in a match against the Beautiful People, which is Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, and Sharmell. And here comes Kid Cup, like he wasn't in other matches, back for more. And I'm like, whoa! So let's come back again. And we're hearing the announcers get narrate the story. Okay, so Sharmella started this, and she can't fight. So I'm gonna have to pass it off to the great to help loop me back into like what's going on over here.
So it's been a minute since watching it. So watching it kind of opened up certain memories, right? So I forgot ODB even had a talk show, to be honest with you, but she has this talk show, and this feud is stemming because Sharmell is a part of the Main Event Mafia. ODB is like, well, they should just go away and let the young people. And she's like, well, you need some respect. And it leads to that. She gets the services of the Beautiful People. And ODB is like, and it's funny because in the in the what do you call it, like the promo video or whatever, ODB says like, yeah, Charmel and Booker, she called him Booker D or something like that. Like she didn't even say T. It was like a whole nother letter, and I was like, I think she's totally off. I have to look it up now because I remember I used when I was watching it. It's on YouTube, and they have not a translator. I forget what it is, but like you can get the words.
Subtitles.
Yeah. And like I remember I saw that because I heard it, but I was like, nah. And I had to like literally see the words just to be sure. I gotta see if I can find it. I'm hoping I can find it before everything is all up. But that's why this is all going on here. If you want to take the floor back here, sir.
No, listen, so I'm gonna give my opinions of this match. So I'm actually waiting for Charmel to come in this match. Like I'm waiting to see what you got. You know what I got? I got a big fat disappointment. The most I got from was running up the ramp and disappearing because the old crazy crooked looking woman. I'm like, what is going? So let me back up. Let me do a jiggy. So let me rewind. So she's the first person to come out, and I'm like, she has the flask, like she's drinking or whatever. I'm like, is she on? Did she just come from Jerry Springer and come straight into the show? Is this how she honestly always looks? Just
Always.
like a fucking mess. So obviously she knows how to fight. So I'm like, all right, so she knows what's going on. And I'm looking at the team. They're like, I don't want to say they were dominating this other team, but I felt like the other team had no chance. Like
it was really one side. It was one-sided though.
Yes, it was like, what was the purpose of this? And I understand they wanted the other team came because they wanted the main event Mafia's locker room or whatever the hell that storyline they was forced to go into. But at the same time, I'm looking like this is a disgrace. Like, and then all right, so and then here comes Kip coming in the last second to break up the pin. Like, where were you? Like, you changed. And here you come in the last second, like 1, 2, we just see a half of your body come in. Like, bro, what were you doing? And it looks like he was going to attack the woman too. So I don't know. So I was like, the match was one-sided, like you guys just said. And I'm like, Charmel, you started this shit. And what's that? Dominated. Like, I have to. It was bad for business for both of them. So I'm going to pass it back off to Martin Winston. You can round us back up. You can great. Mm-hmm.
So this match was definitely, absolutely, positively not the best showing for the knockouts, right? Like I didn't even think that the storyline was shoehorned in. I didn't think about it until like you mentioned it. But yeah, this definitely felt like a shoehorned in storyline. And it sucks because I would say 4.5 out of the 6 women in the ring can go, but like Charmel not being one of them, right? Velvet Sky, she's slowly but surely coming into her own. It takes a couple of years, but you know, she at least makes the attempt. Angelina Love, I know the Great Grand Slam Pooba had mentioned this, but I forgot how good she was. Like she was really good in the ring. Taylor Wilde was really good in the ring. Roxy, I remember being good at the ring, but she didn't get enough time to like show it. And then, you know, ODB is ODB. Like they needed the women's revolution that WWE brought upon because they were really good. But this match did not, I repeat, did not do them any justice. And yeah, you know how the story was shoehorned in? Because ODB and Charmel is in the ring with ODB, and she's like, oh no, she's doing her scared pose. She's looking around. She's like, oh no, I'm not prepared for this. And then she books it. She's out of there. Hightails it out of there. Spoiler alert: we never see ODB again for the rest of the show. So we have no idea what happened. How do we get nothing? There's no backstage footage. And not that, once again, we're more spoilers. It's not that there wasn't backstage footage in this show. I forgot that there was a time where, you know, pay-per-views didn't have ads. Like, obviously, we're watching it on YouTube, so there's ads in between. But, like, if you cut out the ads, there's no ads in this pay-per-view. So it's all TNA all the time. And we have no idea where ODB ends up. But, once again, more spoilers. Charmel pulls up in the main event. Like nothing happened. So yeah, this is one of those. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, this is where TNA is has that Bush League promotion, that Bush League storytelling, because what the hell was that? I can't defend it. I enjoyed the match for what it was, kind of, sort of, because like I said, I do think because Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, they got some run. ODB and Taylor Wilde got some run. Roxy didn't get enough run, but hey, we're out here pushing a storyline that to this day, I don't know what happened. For all I know, I probably should have looked this up. Before all I know, storyline ended right there. But yeah, there's your TNA knockouts. Unfortunately, that was not a good showing for them. Unfortunately,
I do think I do agree with you guys. I mean, because the knockouts were fucking awesome. Like, no one's gonna. I stand on that hill. The talent was there. ODB, look, Sharmell, she definitely was not the in-ring individual, but ODB, Roxanne, Taylor Wilde, beautiful people. You said it best. Angelina Love was definitely the better in-ring worker. Velvet Sky knew how to work. She knew what to do. She wasn't like a fish out of water. You know, she knew what to do, and obviously they had to carry Sharmell. With all the respect in the world to Sharmell, but I just want to talk real quick about. I always feel like Roxy Laveau don't get she's not talked about enough for me. Roxy Laveau, when she was the voodoo princess or queen, I forget what it was. I remember her taking immediately, I remember looking at her. She caught my attention just because of her look. She had a different look. Then she shaved her head, and you could tell from here, her hair was starting to grow back. She started to become the hardcore knockout, and there was a lot of things about her. And I just always thought Roxy was just super, super fucking talented. And it always bothered me that there's been a lot of great knockout champions. And I was like, man, they should have put the title on her. I can't tell you how long they could have gave her a run or anything like that, but I've always just liked Roxy. Roxy was always something talented. ODB, she wasn't by far anything like my favorite knockout, but the girl can work. When she goes out there, when she went out there, I said, I'm sorry, I had the hiccups. When she went out there, I said, that's really how she is. And that's great, because you know what? When you're authentic like that, it works for the crowd. It might have not been something for everybody here, right? But that crowd, when she came out, people liked her. She came out with a flask. I started walking around with a flask maybe years later because it helps. I think she was ahead of the game, honestly. I mean, you just can't do that at work. I know. They sent me to an ABC meeting. I was like, oh, great. That's fucking awful. But anyway, yeah, this wasn't like one of the best knockout matches at all, but it did just give these women a spotlight. And sometimes that's really just what you need. Like, was this shoehorned in? Was this remind me of the rivalry? Rich Kings, I feel like you'll get what I'm going with this. So bear with me here, right, sir? So you said this is shoehorned in. You remember when Kane and Chris Jericho feuded in 2000 all because Chris Jericho spilled coffee? Kane, and then they had a match at Survivor Series.
And then they had another preview of this how it started. Oops. Yeah!
But wrestling, I feel like, and you know, I know we're putting about pinpoints and stuff like that, but I feel like that's always been wrestling though. Like some of the like feuds happened over the like the silliest things, like. And I agree. Like, is this silly? Sure. I think if there was a top 5 list of things, it might be on that list. But I simply, just to wrap up my thoughts here, it's just that they wanted to get these women out there because the knockouts. This is 2008, so 07 is I want to say when they started the whole women's division, knockout division, and they're like, oh, we got something here, and they wanted the Beautiful People. The Beautiful People was one of the best acts. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about what you thought about there. I know this match didn't do anything for you, but the act itself, like what you saw about the entrance and everything, how you felt about the Beautiful People, because I think they were just a tremendous, one of the best acts in TNA, especially at that time.
Yeah, I think you think about it, 2008, that kind of makes sense, right? And I think they did play a good part with having Kip, whatever his damn name is, to be like the leader or whoever it is, because you know he comes off as that like pretty boy kind of style, right? And I'm not saying there's a bunch of pretty boys in TNA at the time, but when you think about the Beautiful People, you think about who looks good, who has the best physique and stuff like that. So I think that kind of went their way. And like I said, or like Mark said, both of us said, that I don't think that the other team really got a chance to showcase. And you guys can speak better to their talent than I could ever with those two people in the Beautiful People. So it seems like, and it just seems like this is just the right way they came up. And to your point, yes, it was the TNA Knockouts division. They started in 2007. Like I said, unfortunately, I watched both of these Final Resolutions. But I saw Gail Kim was like the first champion, right? So
Yes.
they're building things up. So it just makes sense. All right.
Yeah, no, yeah, good stuff. What we got next here, sir? I'm excited about talking about match 3 here.
Listen, match 3 was the first of the title matches, but no, I kind of missed this because I saw that referee in the Beautiful People match. I'm like, this guy looks familiar, and I kept like thinking that this guy looks familiar. Where did I see him from? It's a current WWE official. I'm like, this guy was still botching back then because there was a part where somebody pulled somebody's leg and he just looked at it and said, anyways. And I'm like, this looks familiar. Well, I'm like, oh, and then fast forward to this next match we get for the X Division Championship. So one of our first championships matches we have here. We have Eric Young versus Sheik Abdul Bashir. That's how we say it.
Hey, you said it correctly, sir.
So these referees, man. I'm gonna give my opinions next, but let's start off here with the great. How you feel? How do you feel about this match and what's going on? What's your thoughts?
I'll be honest with you. I did not care about this match. Let's talk about that ref. I love that ref. Oh my God. Like, yo, I remember when back in the day, me and Mark would watch TNA. And we was like, yo, did you see that ref just beat the shit out of like, and I want to say it was definitely Sheik Abdul Butcher that he was always like messing with. But this ref was insane. Like, if you looked at him wrong, I remember like at the end of the match, he would be shirtless and look at his hands because he couldn't believe it. And I'm like, yo, bro, you are a madman. So I don't want to talk about this match. I want to talk about the ref. This ref, and like even after the match, he was trying to be polite. He was just like, no, you won. And then he got slapped. He said, absolutely not. And this guy go into total beat ass mode. I was for this dude. I love this ref. We need more refs like this. And you know what? And listen, I've always said this. He was so smart. He took off the shirt because he said absolutely not. Because he knows the ref shirt is the weakness. If you have the ref shirt, a gust of wind will wipe you out. So that's why he took it off. Because he said, no, you're gonna feel all of this. You're gonna feel every piece of this. And that's what he did. He gave him 3-piece and he gave him 3-piece and a lemonade. I love this ref. We need more refs like this.
You know, but, obviously, I didn't watch TNA, so I'm thinking this was a special guest referee. So then I'm like, well, they keep talking about him and like reacting in matches. I'm like, what's happening here? So I had to look him up, and I'm like, this guy, this is a rage ref. This isn't real. This is else. And then because I literally paused it when he kicked his arms off the ropes, and I'm like, well, did I see that right? So like I looked up who is the ref at this match, and I looked him up, and he's a deal referee, and I'm like, and the announcers they're like going, well, you know, I'm like, well, you know, okay, I guess that's how TNA gets down. I actually liked it, but before I give it back to you, he had some Hulkamania moments. Like he was hulking up, he was shaking in the ring, like he was. I'm like, this guy is something else, a unique character. I enjoyed him getting his ass kicked at the end of the match because
if I can
hold your place, own your place.
I just want to throw out here. I believe they end up having a match because like he was always fucking with Sheik Abdul. He was always fucking with him. Yeah. But shit, thank you so much. He was always fucking with him. But not the ref. The ref would. I mean, Sheik was always bothering him, but he didn't take that. He didn't take no. Like he never took shit laying down. He was like, absolutely not. And he always and I remember because like, I'm sorry, I'm so hyped right about now because this ref was literally fighting back. Like, look, Earl Hebner, he would fight back a little bit, but he wasn't doing back. Like he backdropped this dude when he did that. I said, "Oh!" I got mad hyped seeing this ref. And you know, not for nothing, just to touch a little bit on something Mark was saying earlier, it did hit a nostalgia button for me because I didn't watch this pay-per-view live. I don't want to pretend that I did. Because I wasn't I had no money. I mean, things haven't changed, but still I had no money at that time. But like when I would watch TNA live and the Impact and stuff like that. He was always there, and there was always something with him, and he stood out. Like I thought this was a unique way. This was a unique way to use a ref. I can't tell you if like this was the first ever. I feel like it is, but like I just thought this was so unique, and I thought it was so like I honestly thought it was pretty badass.
I'll totally agree with something that I did not anticipate coming into watching this pay-per-view. If you're saying it's going to be a surprise, Rich, I'm like, well, this was a surprise. And I actually enjoyed the surprise. But then I'm like intrigued by it. Like, where's more? I wanted more. Mark, tell me more.
Tell me more.
Oh, man. So, like, they mentioned the match, and they mentioned, I don't remember exactly when they mentioned it before the match, but they're like, oh, yeah, Eric Young didn't keep his title because of the ref interference. And I was like, oh, motherfucking Shane Swoole. Man, so then, then you see him in there, and it's like, yeah, it's Shane motherfucking Swoole. So I love fucking, okay, guys, Sheikh Abdul Basir. That's Davari, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. So yeah, I saw Sheikh Abdul Bashir, and I was like, "Isn't that Davari?" Wasn't sure. I didn't Google it. I was like, "I'm gonna wait until see if these guys know it." I like those moments because I could have Googled it, but I was like, I'll wait." But yeah. So Sheikh comes in, and he's shit talking Shane damn near from the jump. He is just like, "Yeah, whatever. You can't do nothing. Da 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 da. You can't do this. Da 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 da." At some point, he pisses Shane off. And he starts shaking. He's just like, he is shaking, and then he's just like, yo. But the stipulation is he has to not interfere so he can keep his job. But Sheik knows this, and he keeps fucking with Shane Swoole. So after this point, Shane, at some point, Abdul is holding onto the rope to try and not get pinned, and then he just gets his whole arms kicked. Boom! 1, 2, 3. So to hell with the refs and the refs job, right? I guess at this point, Shane has made a decision. I don't care. You're not going to disrespect me. Fuck this job. So then now I think. So yeah, Sheik is mad now. He's like, "Yo, what the fuck was that?" And now he's still fucking with him. Now you see Shane, he's transforming now. Now he's shaking like it's a Dragon Ball Z episode. He's like, and then he starts. And at first he gets it good, but then boom, next thing you know, Sheik is like, absolutely fucking not. Lays smack down this motherfucker. He start bleeding. He bites the ref where he's bleeding and shit. And then he has this insane image where he's like holding up his towel. There's blood on the towel. There's blood on his face. Nobody has the title. Nobody knows what's going on. Jim Cornette takes the title from whatchamacallit that he didn't even earn because he technically lost the match. Absolute chaos, and I love it. I was like, this is the TNA that I remember. And then at some point I saw my favorite wrestling security guy. I don't know his name. I tried to look him up before the show. Apparently Google Lens can't do it, which is crazy. One day I'll figure out his name. But yeah, he was a dude I used to see all the time in these TNA events. Like, so when one time I went to a TNA event and I saw him, and I was like, I need a picture with this guy. I got a picture with him on my Facebook.
You do?
I do, yes. But yeah, this match was insane. I loved it. This is one of those things where like maybe they could have told the story better. I'm not 100% sure, but I absolutely loved the match. It was great. It was chaos. Loved it. Also, I want to say that this is the beginning of the end in terms of ref quality, because man, the refs go to shit from here. And don't worry, as we go on, we'll talk about these damn refs.
Oh my gosh, these refs! I mean,
he was such a like standout ref though. Like he was clearly a former wrestler or something like that, right? And like having him as a ref and seeing a ref stand up for himself, like you don't see that a lot. Like yeah, refs takes like liberties and stuff like that. Like he's not the first ref to kick. Matter of fact, I will sit here and say this. I know we didn't talk about the match, but like the spot where he kicked Sheik's hand and he got rolled up, I didn't think that was gonna be. I thought he was gonna kick out. So when I heard 3, I was honestly surprised because I once again I don't remember what 2008 TNA was, and I didn't watch the pay-per-view live, so I was relatively surprised. I was like, oh, okay, that worked. And just seeing this chaos, and I think that's always been TNA's, and I think that was the whole thing with TNA. Like they liked the chaos so much, that's what led to 2010. But moving forward, what's next on Rich King? What we got next?
Key word you saying that sentence just now was surprising. This next match was very surprising. Christy Hemme. I mean, Christy Hemme. Come on. Whatever. But I might have to start first, even being as a hearse. Christy Hemme versus Awesome Kong and the Clan. Christy Hemme. How? This is my first question. How? Like, I understand she was kicking her in the head. Like, come on, it's Christy Hemme. Like, what are we doing here? And she had yeah, she got the disqualification win, but I had to keep saying it's Christy Hemme, and I had to stop and went to go get a drink. I came back. I said that was Christy Hemme, and then she kept going. And then she's it's a 301. I said, Justin, it's Christy Hemme. No way, no way. Just disrespect. And the reason why I said no way again is because, like I said, I watched the first Final Resolution of 2008 when she went against Gail Kim, and I said, Awesome Kong got disrespected. She should have destroyed Gail Kim and just won single-handedly. And then watch the next Final Resolution. What changed? Besides her having a belt. Like, I'm like, what's going on here? And the ref, he got involved a little bit. He got his ass kicked by Awesome Kong. So you kick this man.
As he should.
Yeah. You kick this man's ass, but you're like slowly kind of concussing the match. I'm like, Christy Hemme, really interesting. But you know the match, I had to put my chin up and discuss. So I had to do the Javar, like he had the.
I wish I had that. I'm going to see if I can do my best picture here because I usually have some things. But was this you?
Very much so. But my lips were not chapped. My lip is further up in vertical like this.
That's fair. I'm sorry. I always like the. How about this one?
Oh, that was me watching the match.
I just wanted to throw this one up because we have pictures here, but I feel like this is pretty much you.
And those eyes. Those are accurate. That's all.
I do want to sit here and say I like Christy Hemme. I really do. But I did thought it was weird. So Christy Hemme, she goes against Awesome Kong. This match goes 5 minutes and 5 seconds, right? It's for the TNA Women's Knockouts Championship. And what bugged me here is I look at the individuals that Awesome Kong has beaten without any kind of interference or help. Gail Kim, Taylor Wilde, Roxy Laveau, and I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of other names that I'm excluding just because I don't remember all of them on top of my head. Christy Hemme isn't a wrestler. She was a manager. She was with the Rock and Rave Affection. And the fact that there was a disqualification, I don't mind like there's these close falls and stuff like that, but I just hated that like Awesome Kong was struggling with her. That's all it was. Like that is what threw me off. Like Awesome Kong's greatest rival in TNA is Gail Kim. And I can accept that being her, like Gail Kim is giving her the works in the fight and all that stuff. I don't think anyone's gonna sit here and say Gail Kim can't work. But Christy Hemme, and I was like, I really don't like this disqualification finish at all. Like at all. I don't like it. I don't like that it took like Christy Hemme was taking out what's her name? Raka Khan. What's her name? Oh God.
Raisha Saeed.
Yeah. But you know what? Fine, whatever. She took her out. Fine. But Shaka Khan, Jesus. Maybe she took out Shaka Khan too. But Raka Khan, you see how big Raka Khan was a big girl. Like she had to be like 6 foot something. She was right?
So they said they built Awesome Kong I don't know if they built Awesome. No, they did not build Awesome Kong at anything. I had to look this up. Awesome Kong is 6'1", and Raka Khan is taller than Awesome Kong.
What did they put her height? I'm sorry, say that one time for me.
Awesome Kong is 6'1".
Okay,
Like
so she gotta be
I
like
googled
6'4",
that.
6'4".
Yeah, free.
It must have been.
I'm sorry. What you call it? Sent the picture. I'll make sure to add it for the next time. But he just sent the picture. Good job. Because I can't upload it now. But so she got to be like 6'3", 6'4". I want to say, give or take, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I really didn't like the disqualification finish because it once again, like Awesome Kong has put away a lot of like talent, and not to say Chrissy Hemme is not talented, but wrestling is not her strong suit. And I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't understand what we were doing there. That's all. I didn't get that.
I think I know what they were going for, but this was definitely an interesting concept, right? Because like they showed a little Christy Hemme AJ training montage, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, just like Rich King's, it's Christy Hemme. This is not going to be a match. Like I don't care. I don't care what we're doing. I don't believe in this, right? And then granted, I just thought it was Christy Hemme and Awesome Kong. I didn't know. I completely forgot that Raisha Saeed and Raka Khan was coming with her.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh,
they were called like the
the Contourage, yes.
That?
The Contourage pulled up. I was like, oh, she's definitely not winning this. This is ridiculous. And then they had the Army dude introduce Christy, and I'm like, I don't care. I still don't believe that Christy Hemme is winning this. And then here's Don West to just echo my thoughts. He said, I don't care if she channels Luthez. I don't think she has a chance. Oh my goodness. So once again, we're in TNA. We got $20 production and the $15 music for everybody. Awesome Kong begins the match. She's dominating. And then at some point, because of some reason, Christy Hemme is trying and she starts fighting back. And then like freaking I forget who interfered first. And I'm pretty sure it was Raisha Saeed. I think she interfered first. And then the ref is like letting the match go. And I'm like, ref, what's going on here? Like, what are you doing? And then Christy Hemme goes for her finisher, that dropping that second, I forget what they called it, but she drops from the whatchamacallit from the second rope with the split. And then Raisha Saeed pulls Christy Hemme off like, no, we're not doing this. And the ref is still not doing nothing about this. It's not until Raka Khan gets involved where like, all right, now the ref is like, I guess I need to ring the bell. Yes, you need to ring the bell. Now, about that particular spot, I don't necessarily have a big problem with it because I feel like when they pulled her off, they ever so slightly did not give Awesome Kong the time to, break out for the 3 count. Like it didn't look like I feel like if they weren't there, Awesome Kong would have easily kicked out. Like there was nothing about that where it's like, oh yeah, this is where Christy Hemme wins the match. I don't care what Don West or Mike Tenay is saying. Oh, she could have won. No, all right, they stop it. But man, that was not needed. It wasn't needed at all. And then after right, like Rich King said, Christy takes out Raisha Saeed. Christy takes out Raka Khan, and now we are butting heads with Awesome Kong. We got to get the security involved, and the chaos goes crazy. It goes so crazy that they start playing Christy Hemme's music. Like, yo, wrap this shit up. Oh my goodness. I forgot how bad the production at TNA was. It's funny though because it's like I miss it. That chaos, like Rich Kings always says, I love chaos, and TNA embodied it from top to bottom. I loved it. I didn't like this match. Once again, this is another one of those matches. It's not a great depiction of the knockouts, but maybe on another TNA pay-per-view, I'll pick out something better because this wasn't it either.
I think they think that it's not trying. I want to say it's not for them not trying. I think that it was so wild. I think the fans loved it because it was so unpredictably wild that it made sense, right? You go to something that's predictable with WWE, right? So you go for the glamour. So and I keep going back to this. I watched both of those pay-per-views in January and December, and I'm like, do they ever change the Tiger Throne or the entrance? And I started watching some more. Like, so I'll get into this in the end. I was watching some other things to make me like let me do some homework on somebody else in the end of the match. I'm like, they don't change much. Interesting. And when the production people like just the camera work left to be desired.
And the music. I was listening to some of these themes, and I was like,
Mark Williams, hold on to that thought because listen, and you call me right at the right time. I'm gonna do a little swerve. This one, I'm gonna do a little thing on these podcasts called a swerve, and you hit me right in the right part. And I was just about to do this, so I'm listening to the music, and I'm like, this isn't good. I'm a music hyper. Like I hear a theme, I'm like, yes, let's go. Like, and I'm like, this didn't do it for me. So I said, you know what? I did watch a little bit of TNA. Like I said, I watched 4 or 5 pay-per-views. And I was like, what are your 2 top TNA theme music that actually got you like, oh, this is about to be some shit. Or like, I'm excited for somebody's coming out. So I'm gonna give my spoiler real quick. I got my first 2 right. I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna send it to you guys. So number 1, I'm gonna say for last. It was Jeff Jarrett. That and I had to push to number 2 because the main event Mafia music, it got me so bad. I had to start listening to their theme some more. Like, this is actually pretty dope. So main event Mafia music was number 1 for me, and Jeff Jarrett's number 2 for me. All right, so I'm gonna pass up to you, Martin Williams. You're the residential TNA super fan. So tell me, what are the top 2 themes you have for TNA?
Top 2?
Yeah.
Okay, if I have to pick 2, my top 2, because I like a lot of themes. I like the beer, money. Although this wasn't their best theme. The one that they played tonight, or that night, that wasn't their best one. There's a better one. I like Booker T's remix and his TNA remix. I like Sting's music, but I like his Joker music better than his regular music. There's a very subtle difference. But my top 2. Oh, it's low-key. I also like Matt Morgan's because I know he's up. I do fuck with that song. It's the Sleeping Giant.
I kid you not. When I heard it, I was gonna say, Mark, do you remember the lyrics?
I sure do. But my top 2, and I don't particularly have an order, and I guess technically it's like a top 3 because I like both the regular AJ Styles theme. Well, I'm gonna say regular because apparently he had one before this one. Yeah, and and the Get Ready to Fly. I love those 2. But I think the one that I like even more than that is Kurt Angle's theme. Oh my God. I love that theme. Fun fact about that theme. All right, there's a lot of ties here. And I'm probably taking too long. Let me hurry up. So in John Cena's team, you got John Cena rapping, you got Bumpy Knuckles rapping. Bumpy Knuckles, I think it's his cousin or his brother is the one rapping Kurt Angle's theme.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I think I remember hearing something like there's some kind of family ties there.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. But Kurt's theme is dope.
It is dope. No, it is.
What about you, great? Got top 2?
Yeah, there was a few great themes out here, and with TNA. So I gotta go with AJ Styles. Like I can't not include that. Like, and you say which one? So if everyone's gonna get ready to fly, I'm gonna go a little different and go with his original. The first one, each theme was a little different, but it was still kind of the same lyric, but the beats were a little bit different. So I'm gonna go with the first one that he had, or the second one that was Get Ready to Fly, because he had like another generic one and whatnot. Another one I would like to throw out there, it's not even really a fave, but I just want to talk about it. Kevin Nash had a song called Dre, and I just thought that song was so fucking hilarious. Like, I honestly just think it's a meme song, and I like it. But You mentioned Kurt Angle, and I'm like, ugh, and not even because I don't like it. I really like that theme. Like it makes me want to do like 1,002 push-ups. Like it's a great song. But Samoa Joe's, that's such a classic. Like that is so like you got to hear it. Like when they came out to the TNA Frontline music, I hated that so much. I hated that. I've said this sound like Foot Locker music that you exit to. Like you leave. This is Foot Locker music. I didn't like it. But Samoa Joe, if you listen to that one with the lyrics, banger. Totally a banger. And I know that word gets tossed around a lot, but like it's really it's a bop. I'm even gonna say banger. I'm close to my 40s. It's a bop.
Love it. So we got our top 2 themes in TNA. And I think in this Final Resolution, we heard some of the worst music in TNA. So switching over to the next match here, we have Abyss and one of our favorite themes, Matt Morgan, against Bear Money. I'm not sure if I'm saying it the right way.
Hold on, wait. No. Let's do it. Hold on. Let me do it. Bear
Money.
Yeah. And with the agent,
I love it. Yeah.
With the agent Jacqueline, she's just everywhere. And like I said, I was watching the other one. She was in the skits, and now she's actually a manager, doing actually some work in this match. So, I'm gonna pass this off to Mark Wins first. What are your thoughts about this match?
This was one of those. This was a funny match. It was enjoyable. It was funny. We got more ref shenanigans. It was great. We start with the highway chase. I don't know. It was insane. The highway chase we got because James Storm is just. I don't remember why. I didn't look it up. I was just baffled by it because the James Storm that I remember would not be afraid of Abyss, but I guess that's a different James Storm. We're not there yet. We are Looney Tunes shenanigans TNA, and James Storm is not having any of this. He's out. He wants no part of this. We running around, They running around. I think Robert Roode tries to like catch up to help, and the next thing you know, they come back around, and here's Matt Morgan off the top rope. Boom. Beer Money's like, nope, fuck this shit. I'm not dealing with this. We're out. So here's the thing. Ref is like, listen. The match didn't even start yet. So if you don't come in here by the count of 10, that's a forfeit. He rings the bell, and now Beer Money got to get in the ring. Once again, though, James Storm wants no part of Abyss, so he just leaves Robert Roode high and dry. And he does this throughout the match. I think the funniest part was like, first of all, nobody really wanted a part of Abyss to begin with. Like, apparently this was peak Abyss or something. But like, James Storm, there was definitely one point where like Robert Roode is like, he finally gets a little bit of a break, and he needs the hot tag, and James Storm is like, nope, I need my beer. Absolute chaos. I love this match. Once again, we have the ref just the ref is just not doing his job because he sees it. Jackie grabs Matt's leg at some point, and the ref is like right there. And I'm just like, I remember I audibly, very loudly was like, ref! Like, I was annoyed at these refs. They're so liberal with how they're enforcing the rules or the lack thereof. I don't really know what's going on. These were the worst refs of all time. I highly doubt you'll find a worse set of refs. Maybe I'm just being a casual, but like, and somebody can actually point it out. But these refs were insane, and this was peak shit ref because, like I said, he just looked at it, gave nothing. Then there was this fake ass tag, and the ref was just like, I guess it was a tag. Like, I don't even.
What do you want from me?
Mark Wins. So I was saying the same thing about these refs at this TNA thing. It's a joke. So I said, I was looking for like an earpiece. Who's communicating to the backstage? No one. That's the problem. There's no. The ref is in charge of making up these rules as they go. Like, for example, like in the beginning of the match. Yeah, if you don't get in here, you just lose the titles. I'm looking around like, wait, who authorized that? Like, what's going on? And the refs, man, I know you're saying some shit. These refs actually are probably the best refs because they are full authority. This is the authority ref. In a faction. And Earl Hebner, the other guy, was it Shane, whatever his name is?
Shane Swool, yes.
They should be a faction, the refs. And we just do whatever we
The
want.
refs. I love that.
All right, Big Break, what you got for us?
I love that so much. You're making me want to play some 2K and just have this rebel or something like that. Like all the refs just like, no, we're just gonna beat the shit out of you. I mean, it was fine. I mean, I didn't think much of this match. I don't think this was like their best encounter or anything like that, but it was fine. It was good. Matter of fact, I honestly thought, because it's been such a long time watching some throwback TNA and stuff like that, because I know Abyss and Matt Morgan wins the TNA tag titles, and I thought it would be right here. I mean, honestly, when I see Abyss and Matt Morgan together, I said, how can anybody beat them? Like, this is just a Matt Morgan, and shout out to Matt Morgan, right? So he was with WWE for a few years, if anyone remember that. It didn't last. It didn't work. He goes to TNA. This is 08. So I'm gonna say like maybe somewhere in 08 he joins. Maybe it's 07. I remember he used to be, sorry, hiccups here. He was like the bodyguard for Jim Cornette. And seeing him out there, I was like, you remember that, right? Yeah. And eventually he comes out there and stuff like that, and him and Abyss. So it was fine. I mean, like, I really don't have anything to take away from this match. I do agree with what Mark Wins was saying, laughing. Because there was a spot where I did see James Storm get down from the turnbuckle or from the thing, and just a drink. And I was like, honestly, I said, I stole your flow. That's all I got. So, yeah, it was fine. It was fine. The Hills win. Bear Money. I'm just, it's funny because, like, because I want to hear a lot of your thoughts about TNA here. So, what did you think about? Because Bear Money, maybe one day we can do this as time goes on and we review a lot of TNA stuff, so it could just bring you up to speed with a lot of stuff, Rich King. But Bear Money, like, because I think Bear Money should be like tag team Mount Rushmore. I think you could put them on there. But what do you think about from what you saw? I feel like this was not even their best stuff here. But from what you saw with this match here about Bear Money, how did you feel about Bear Money?
Obviously, they're a team that has some sort of chemistry, right? So I think if you do things like James did to a great Robert Roode, whatever he calls himself, right. Then
Robert Roode,
yeah, I think that they just had a certain amount of chemistry, right? And I think obviously I don't know all the TNA tag teams and seeing what they're all about, but just their charisma and what they brought to the ring, and people were just behind them at that stage. Obviously, tells me at that point in the game that they just had something in TNA that the tag teams I didn't see so far had. So I think I've seen a few tag teams. Obviously, the Dudley Boys, what they come with, et cetera, et cetera. But from what I saw, Bear Money was pretty exciting. I mean, over the years, I've heard you guys talk about Bear Money. So obviously, there's somebody to be heard or talked about. So can't wait to look forward to some of their matches. Yeah. Well, speaking of TNA products, listen. I hate a useless promo. And what Rhino gave me was so bad. I was like, no wonder they didn't give him a match in WWE. It was horrendous. So I don't know what it was. I'm looking at the medieval times background, and I'm looking at him.
Oh,
and I'm like, where were they? There's no locker room available. There's no hallway available. What the hell was that? And then you got this woman interviewing him, and she said, "It's a bad time." Yeah, it's a bad time. But she stands there, and he's talking about. I can't even tell what he's talking about. Rhino, not good mic person. Rhino, to me, not a great wrestler. And I wanted Kurt Angle to rip him apart. Which led it to so Rhino bored me to death for those 2.5 minutes, and then he had a nerve to come out first. I felt like I'm like, what the hell? Like, awful music, awful persona. Kurt Angle saved me. So I'm waiting, like, where's Kurt Angle at? And it's a young and poppy Kurt Angle. I'm like, yes. I'm like, Kurt, let's go. end this fast. But Kurt Angle didn't end it fast. He actually had a nice little wrestling match. So, Kurt Angle's a wrestling god. So it was a nice solid match. I think it was 14 minutes and 24 seconds I got right here. And Kurt Angle did his thing. He did the job. He won. He went on to go face Jeff Jarrett. And before I give it back to you guys, the useless. All right, I can't say useless. But when I see someone like Al Snow come out, that also it was a triple nothing for me. So how do you double down? So here's a Rhino wasted 2.5 minutes of my time, and here comes Al Snow. I guess no one else was available. All right, I'm gonna pass it off to you, the great. Start us off here first, because oh my gosh.
It's funny. I'm trying to look. I'm trying to look for this promo because I know we didn't talk about a whole lot of promos, but Kurt Angle did a promo earlier tonight, and it was just so like it was actually kind of hilarious because it was like, what was you even talking about? I actually found it. I had to screenshot, not even screenshot, but I had to find it. I'm playing it as we're going along, and I'm just trying to get the captions going on so it can help me out here. But the match itself, it was fine. I mean, look, I don't think it's Kurt Angle's best match. I don't think it's going to be like top 5, top 10 or anything like that, but they wanted to get Kurt Angle on here. I even forgot like the whole stuff about Kurt Angle wanting to fight Jeff Jarrett. I think Jarrett beat him like in like their first encounter or something like that. And now Kurt Angle's obsessed and want to get his win back or something like that. I'm looking at it right here, and he's talking about like, I'm a hunter and I'm going to hunt for Jarrett, and what's the best way to hunt for a rhino and all this stuff. And Kurt Angle was speaking menacingly and stuff like that. It's actually pretty hilarious stuff here. I mean, he's not even trying to be funny, but he's just very dark and grim. And I was like, Kurt, what the hell are you talking about here, man? But the stuff with Al Snow, I hear what you're saying. Al Snow wasn't like a major player in the Attitude Era or nothing like that. But I think he wanted to use that as a connection for Mick Foley. Mick Foley and Al Snow are very close. And that's why he had Al Snow out there. Because I honestly forgot all about this. I really did. I forgot that Al Snow was
even in TNA.
See, here's the thing. I remember. Do you remember when they had like what was it called, check gut or something like that? Do you remember that?
Gut check?
Yes.
Kind of, sort of, yes.
I remember Al Snow being a part of that because I got that because it was like they're tough enough. So right, but I forgot about this as his debut, and I'm seeing this, and I remember I was like, oh shoot, that's Al Snow. I've never had any beef with Al Snow. I like Al Snow. He's one of the good dudes in wrestling. And, I like good dudes in wrestling. But I really, really forgot that this was a thing here. But this match, Rhino losing. It's funny because you talked about his mic work. It was fine. It was there. It was something for Kurt Angle to do. Because, look, I sit here and go with this. And you might sit here and say, he could afford anybody else. I would say who? They wanted Kurt Angle on the card. And you're not going to have a TNA pay-per-view with a healthy Kurt Angle not on the card. So I thought that was the right move. It was fine. And then he tells Mick Foley he's going to beat the shit out of him. Mick Foley's not even fazed by this. He's like, dude, I got thrown off a fucking cell. Like, what can you do to me? What possibly can you even do to hurt me or anything like that? Mick Foley just laughed. And he laughed in his flannel. So I thought it was fine. It was like I said, it's not something I'm going to remember, but it was fine. Kurt Angle was on the card, and not having Kurt Angle on the card is a sin.
No. So I agree. Kurt Angle should be on the card. I wasn't saying him versus Rhino was a mistake.
Oh,
Rhino talking was a mistake. But Mark was helping out here. Go on, you're on next.
So before the match and before even that useless promo, there was the debut of Suicide. Alex Shelley comes out with what's the other guy's name?
You talking about Chris Sabin?
Chris Sabin, yes. He comes out with Chris Sabin. They're like, "Hey, Mick Foley, you were in the back talking about you're gonna make things right." And Mick Foley obviously doesn't come out. And then Suicide comes out and he just beats up on them real quick. And that's his debut. It was probably more hype at the time, but like looking back at it, that was a very mid debut. I don't know how else to explain it. That's probably why it was skipped. But speaking of things that should have been skipped, yes, Rhino's promo was bad. I remember and I want to say it came. I don't remember. Okay, so I don't remember the exact timing between Kurt Angle's promo, which was intense. It might not have been his best promo, but it was still more than serviceable. And then Rhino like rebuts that, and it's just like, yo, Rhino should not be doing promos. Like this shit was really, really bad. Oh my goodness. The match itself, as the great Grand Slam Poober alluded to, it is not one of Kurt Angle's best matches. It wasn't a bad match. It just wasn't one of his best. But it was a slower paced match. And this is when I noticed, like, this is when I remembered, like, why I liked TNA. So it was a slower paced match, and I still feel like it's a faster pace than most WWE matches, especially at the time of 2008, 2009, 2010, whatever. What TNA didn't do, for better or for worse, is they did not waste much. They didn't use much downtime. So, like in WWE, you'll get hit with a move, and somebody will be down, and they might zoom in on their face, or they might do something. They show the crowd. They'll have the wrestler playing to the crowd. They don't really do that much. They didn't do that much in TNA in 2007, 2008, and 2009. They did it more in 2010 because reasons. But they didn't do it much in these matches, and I saw it particularly in this match because this was definitely one of the slower paced matches of the night, and everything is quick. We got Peak Angle, who's explosive as all hell. Rhino had his moments of explosiveness here and there, and by here and there I mean whenever he was trying to gore somebody. Other than that, he was serviceable. Once again, the ref gets gored, so now Mick Foley has to be a ref, and Mick Foley just has these slow 3 counts. It's 1, 2, and then I'm gonna throw my hand down. Like he did that, and to be fair, it was neutral, right? Because he did it both to Rhino and to Kurt. I thought it was hilarious. Al Snow, memory wiped, completely forgot that Al Snow was in TNA, so this was a complete surprise to see him show up, because I'm like, I wonder who's coming. I have no idea who's coming. I'm thinking maybe somebody on the front line turns, but I'm thinking to myself, it's 2008. It's too soon for that. So I have no idea. And then boom, Al Snow. Sure, why not? But overall, it was cool. It was an okay match. My guess is it was warming up for our main event. And somehow we had to shoehorn Al Snow into the fray. I don't have no idea. Like I said, I completely forgot Al Snow was here. I don't remember what he did like after this. I don't even know. I don't. But
right, I don't either.
Match.
And I do remember watching TNA weekly, and like usually when it comes to wrestling stuff, I have a pretty, I want to say, solid memory. But after that, I don't. I remember years later, the gut check stuff, and like I remember he was feuding with Joey Ryan for a bit. Like I remember that, but like I don't know, like everything else, no, I don't. Like I really, like there's such a blank there, and it actually bothers me because it's like I take such pride in remembering a lot of this stuff with Russ.
It's like, not your fault. That's not your fault. That means he didn't leave an impact.
Yeah. You know what? Hold on, let me see something. Hold on, let me see if I got something for you. Hold on, wait. That was damn good. Hold on, I do got something. Hold on. Where are we? Oh yeah, here we go. That will always be the funny. No, originally because I feel like you stole my gimmick. I was ready to put this out.
We saw it.
I love her. So
I love how like the video plays. All you hear is I love her. Like I play that anytime when something goes it's very inconsiderately out of my way and whatnot. I like to play that and whatnot. But what did we have? Real quick, because I feel like we did gloss over it. But Rich Kings, do you have any thoughts about the Suicide debut?
Listen, I saw it and it was like tomorrow, so it was memorable. So not memorable at all. Like it was hey, there's 2 of you in this ring. This man glides in here and just takes y'all out. Huh? So I listen. And at that time, right now rewinding it, I'm not a fan of the unknown. Like, so like we just watched Survivor Series and the mask person is like, all right, that's intriguing. But the Rey Mysterio mask people, I don't like them. Show your face. Show your face. And I don't, no.
Well, you know how I feel about one Rey Mysterio. I have another video if anyone wants to see what I think about Rey Mysterio.
Yes.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Okay.
Hey, you know who lives in this house? A great big phony! That's right, a phony lives here! A big fat phony!
I think my favorite part, I remember watching that. My favorite part of that was him peeking through the window.
No, he's right because he's right. I'm so sorry. But you see Peter and the thing like, how do you even know where the hell I live? Like, that is honestly the greatest because you really can see it. And if you just got to look at the background, that is funny. I remember Rich King.
They never miss.
I remember we were, I kid you not, real quick. The first 4 seasons of Family Guy were like gems. Everything else might have been, in between it, 6, 7, whatever. But those first 4 seasons, especially the first 3 seasons, I remember Rich King always pointing out like, yo, did you peep that Peter was like looking at the thing like this dude? So I'm sorry, Rich King, please take the floor here. We have the main event, in which it's the main event.
It's the main event. Well, that means the main event mafia, right? So, listen, you guys have been talking about the main event mafia for years now, right? So, before going into this, I needed to know who was the main event mafia. What were they about? So, I devoted 2 hours of my time watching the history of the main event mafia. Me and 1.54 million people watched the history of the main event mafia. So I was like, oh, interesting. So looking at this group, and I'm like, these old bitches. Like, I was like, the expendables, or what the hell that shit is. I'm just looking at them like, look, it's just them. And then the music hits, and I'm like, oh yeah, they might be onto something. And the same way Kurt Angle brings them in, typical Kurt breaks them up, and I love what he did this thing. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But the main event mafia, it was like they just had a caption of that, and like I said, I was watching the history of it, and there was like, yeah, here comes the new members of main event mafia through Team 3D, and they just screw them over. I'm like, oh yeah, they ain't gonna win this damn match. So I stopped at that point, and I was like, let's go into the pay-per-view, right? And here comes the main event mafia coming in one by one. I loved it. Coming in with that badass theme. And here comes the front line. I'm like, look at these fucking jokes. Like, I'm waiting for a demolish it. I'm like, demolish this team. Because Team 3D, like, you don't belong on the front line. So my question goes back. I'm like, why was there no one else available that could have been on the front line? Can we not bring back Jay Lethal or somebody else? Like, what are we doing? Like, Team 3D didn't belong here. I would have put Team 3D in that pink slip match. Listen, go take a hike. Get out of here. And I would have put Jay Lethal and Consequences Creed in this match. But I guess I'm not booking, and it's not too much chaos, or it didn't fit TNA's mantra. So I'm going to pass up to you guys to review this match. I'm going to give my opinions to this match. But like I said, that theme and that entrance for the production that TNA did have, it was as good as it gets. And listen, I'm telling you right now, I'm not a fan of Scott Steiner, but he kind of won me over in this match a little bit. But let me just spoil it for you guys. When he hit Bubba, and Bubba just hit him back immediately, and he landed on the top of the... I was like, yeah, Scott Steiner, I like you now. All right, I'm going to start this first. Tell me more. What's going on with this match?
So, was it my match? I believe this was my match of the night. This match was absolutely excellent. It once again, Sharmell is here. ODB is nowhere in sight. We have no idea what happened to ODB. Frontline's music is definitely, yeah. I don't know what they thought they were cooking with that. I'm genuinely confused with that selection. Booker T was the highlight of this match for me. His mannerisms were just hilarious. Like, he started the match with this like intense look, and every time he hit something, like, I loved every second of it. It's really interesting, right? Because we talk about the chaos of the Feast of Fire match from earlier, and then we have this 4v4 tag match for the TNA heavyweight title of all things. And for the most part, you can tell, like, whether it was led by the veterans of the main event mafia, or everybody was just on the same page with everything. The pacing was better. It was a whole lot easier to follow this match than it was that first match, that Feast of Fire match. The pacing was great. Everything is moving along just fine. Like I said, they don't really, other than Booker T's mannerisms, they don't really like hang the camera on somebody's face too long. We're like, boom, we hit one spot, they laid out for a little bit, and we moving on to the next spot. Even when they have those tense moments where like both people are down and they're both trying to get a tag, they just don't take that long. It's like, all right, cool, we're both down, and we're both like really like, all right, boom, we got to get this tag, because if I don't get this tag, I'm in trouble. And they hurry that up to an extent. Not too fast, but not too slow either. I love it. I just love that TNA pacing. And this was definitely, for the most part, this was peak TNA pacing. This is the TNA that I remember. I loved this match. We had Samoa Joe with great ring awareness, even though he was getting dominated most of the match, because the front line, I mean, the main event mafia was not letting him get anything off. He didn't even get to do his signature where like somebody comes off a top rope and he just walks off. Like, nope, we're not even going to let you have the opportunity to do that. You don't get no muscle busters. You don't get no Kakuna clutches. In fact, Steiner almost, I'm not going to say he almost made him tap, but he had him in a headlock. So main event mafia was not here to play. We had a goal, and the goal was to make sure that our guy Sting walked out of here with the title by any means necessary. Joe had Sting in the Muscle Buster. Kevin Nash was like, absolutely not, because once again, this ref is nowhere in sight for some reason. This is just the theme of the night. And yeah. Interestingly enough, Sting walks off. He's not celebrating with the main event mafia. If I remember correctly, this is the beginning of the end of the main event mafia, because Sting is like, at some point, Sting is like, yo, I don't like what happened, da 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 da. And then obviously Rich Kings, he saw the history of the main event mafia. I probably should have watched that to remember this myself, because I don't remember exactly what happened, but Kurt Angle breaking it up definitely rings a bell. But my match of the night, it was absolutely perfect way to cap off the second Final Resolution
of 2028.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, I love the match. What about you guys?
Real quick, I like Sting. I have a lot of respect for Sting, but I think Sting was a fool. And you might say, well, why do you think that? He's on a team with Big Papa Pump. You don't think this team is going to cheat? I'm sorry. Like, when you have Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash, I guess you could say Booker T to an extent, because at this point he was more of a he was at that point he was a heel I don't want to say longer, but he was a heel for a while. So like, I'm like, what did you think was going to happen? So like, when Sting walked out, because once again, it's been years, so bear with me, people watching. It's been years, so I forgot a lot of things. And you might say, well, you should have watched all these other things. It's kind of hard to, have all this stuff and then another podcast and try to go outside. So forgive me for not remembering everything. This was a great pay-per-view to watch back and just remind me of what was so great about TNA back in the day. But yeah, no, when Sting walked out, I was just like, well, you don't get it. Like, you're whatever. The match was fine. It was cool. If AJ won, if AJ's team won, they would have had the TNA championship. If the main event Mafia, Sting retains. Yeah, no, I really dislike that frontline music. I hate the name frontline to begin with. I think originally it was called the TNA Originals, and then they were called the Frontline. And then I remember Kurt Angle made some like ridiculous joke with that name. Yeah, you said about the Team 3D. Look, I hear you, man. I totally utterly hear you. Team 3D, I guess they had them on there because they, if I remember correctly, right? Like they had them and they're like, well, why would you have these guys on here? These are not front lines. These are not young and up and coming guys. But Team 3D were part of that Rebel ECW. And they're just like, hey, we've seen how people try to take over companies. And I feel like I'm not even verbalizing it correctly here when I'm saying all this stuff here. But they're just like, hey, we've seen how older talent try to keep young talent. You know what's so funny? Watching this in 2008, I just turned 20. I think we all just turned 20 at that point, right? We were the young guys. But in 2025, close to my 40s, I relate more to the main event mafia more than ever. I would hold down every young. Oh, you want to reach the top? No, absolutely not. It's amazing when you get older because, like, I heard Rich Kings, he called these guys old. Right, they are. But as I get older, I relate to the older guys. Like, I want to fight young people. I legit want to, like, when they say 6'7", I want to say, what is this gang exclusive thing? Why is 8'9" not included? I want to hit him with a sleeper suplex. So, like, please. So I loved all of this. Like, obviously these talents, they're doing a great thing. It's amazing. They're all doing great things. AJ Styles, he is right now the tag team champion on Raw. Samoa Joe is the AEW World Champion. The Dudleys are retired. Well, I don't know if Bubba is, but I would say Devon, he's retired. We're looking at this thing. Sting is retired. I want to say Kevin Nash is retired. Scott Steiner. Yep. I feel like everyone on the main event mafia is retired. I could be wrong completely, but a lot of them are retired. So it's amazing how, like, we watch back and what we said, this is 17, 18 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. And you look back at the stuff and you're just like, man, how, like, time and stuff like that. But the match was fine. And I did want to throw out here too. I was trying to find a graphic for this show. And I saw a picture of Sting and he's doing a drop kick. Sting was in his late 40s, maybe early 50s at this point. And it was a damn good drop kick. Like, I don't think people understand how not easy that move is. And to just do that, and especially when you get older, how challenging it is. I just wanted to throw it out there because I just thought that was, like, super cool. He literally looked, he hit Joe in the neck. And I said, that's cool.
And he did it like twice.
Oh, he did it like twice. Okay, there we go. But if I can be honest, Sting has always been like a freak of nature. Like, he's an older guy, but he would still hop over the ropes. And I remember one match, I think it was a King of the Mountain match, and he just did a cross body. I'm like, you don't have to do that. You're Sting. But he does stuff anyway because listen, his run in AEW, I don't know if you guys ever saw it, but he was like jumping off balconies and stuff. And the bro was he was either 60 or damn near 60, and he was doing these things. And I don't know. I've always had like a healthy respect for Sting. I think Sting is dope as hell. Him walking out once again. You're on a team with Scott Steiner. Like, you're on a team with a madman. I just can't express that enough.
That just his awareness is all.
And I agree. Like, I totally agree. Like, 100%. Like, dude, you have to know who you got to know. You're on the team with Kurt Angle. This is the same guy who hit you in the head with a bat. Like, come on.
Oh, I mean, but you're the icon. You should be able to figure these things out, right? We're calling you the icon for a reason.
I'm going to be honest with you. I do not like their tone of voice.
You're not going to like where I'm going next with the icon. So with the icon, like I said, I was watching the beginning. You chose to team up with this team, right? Craig was highly intense. You see, he brings Booker T over here to his left, and Booker T's like, "Yeah, we want respect." And Booker T's beginning to talk about he's from Africa. I'm like, "Oh, the Africa Booker T." Like, oh, so this is something different. So now I'm even more intrigued. You got Kevin Nash coming in, like, "Yeah, I left 2 months ago, but I'm back. I want revenge." Here comes Sting. I want respect. You want respect? No. You're not getting that. And the leader's Kurt Angle, by the way. So what do you think? He has the 3 eyes. You don't think he's going to eventually do something to get back the belt? And this is Kurt Angle we're talking about. But long story short, I do appreciate the main event Mafia. I think that team itself, it just even having like the Scott Steiners of the world being in there, right? Like when I think about WCW wrestling, I don't really like. Obviously, Scott Steiner is somebody that when you think about WCW, you see him. But I was never a Scott Steiner fan. Like I never liked the Steiners in general. Like well, whatever. But I think watching the main event Mafia, how they were moving, like I was like, okay, I could kind of get with Scott Steiner a little bit more. Like he was actually pretty funny, and he kind of held it down a little bit with Kevin Nash. But Sting, you got exactly. I'm gonna do with Stephanie McMahon. Remember, I think the great remember this, right? With Austin and Triple H, she had the power trip, and when Triple H got injured, she came for that promo. Austin, you got exactly what you deserve. And Sting, that's what you got. You got spit in the face. He lost the belt. Did all these things. You got what you deserved. But that's just the history of the main event Mafia. This match was pretty dope, honestly speaking. I think everybody played their part well, and I just don't think it was time for AJ Styles, even at 2008, to win that belt in the first place. So I don't understand. I get why Martin gave us some understanding of why he left the ring, and I'm dumbfounded. Like, the hell you leaving the ring for? We're winning. You should be celebrating with us. Like, if it wasn't for us, you would have lost the damn belt. But yeah, my only gripe is I think Jack, the Great knows this. The Scorpion Death Drop back when WCW said, "How does this win?" Like, how does this win?
You was never a fan of that move.
Remember we was complaining? I was complaining about that at WCW Thunder where he hit that move and I'm like, what? But the Big Show does the last shot on the final cut. Nope.
If I could be totally honest, so can I pull back the curtains a little bit? So we've been friends for many years, right? And Rich King, he likes consistency. So when Hogan did the leg drop, he said, "Oh, okay." But when Big Show did it, he said, "What?" to point out, because he liked consistency, and listen, I think it's a fair point because I don't know what Hogan was at in 02, right? Like he was definitely under 500 pounds, right? But Big Show's doing it, and they said he's 500 pounds. How is anyone even like? I would lay there personally. We call it workers' comp. Like that's what would have happened on my end. But I totally hear what you're saying. The Scorpion Death Drop, I always thought it was a dope move, though. I mean, it's simplistic, but like I thought it was a dope move. You was never a fan of that. I honestly don't remember that.
Just as a regular move, yes, okay. But for you want me to count to 3? Yeah, we got this.
So how do you feel?
I'll tap. Please.
I love like asking questions. I love conversation. The power bomb. Do you think it's a sin that people kick out of the power bomb?
Because not everybody does it right? So the jackknife, no, right? The last ride, no. But if you just give it, like, some of these problems are horrible. But like, it's a power bomb. You're supposed to throw them down. That's power. And some people just, whoosh. That's what you get.
You know, if I could throw out here, because you said, the jackknife, Kevin Nash, last ride, Undertaker. I just wanted to throw out here because
Awesome Bomb.
The Awesome Bomb was cool too, but I just wanted to say Scott Norton had a really fantastic power bomb because he would literally like drive you into the ground.
Yes.
Like just if anybody ever have an opportunity to
whole body to the floor.
Yeah, man. Like he would like I always just an image like someone going through the ring and it explode.
Yeah, I mean it was.
I don't. But I mean. Go ahead, please.
I said, really, put up a wrap, put a bow on this. So, let's do a little highlight. So, what are some of the highlights of the show? Your favorite moments before we pass it back on to the great to round us out. I'm gonna start with Mark, and we go to the great, and I'll round us out with that piece. Mark, what was your highlight of the night for the second Final Resolution of 2008? One is just not enough.
Like I said, the Frontline versus Main Event Mafia, that was my match of the night. But I did enjoy the absolute ridiculous shenanigans of Beer Money versus Matt Morgan and Abyss. That was probably, for me, the funniest match of the night. That match, I don't know if they intended it to be funny, but that match had me rolling because there was just a lot of funny things that happened in that match. So those are my two big highlights. And overall, I did enjoy taking this trip down memory lane to TNA. There's definitely some they had some production issues, like not issues, but I understand now. I understand it better now when people then were like, "Yo, TNA is very second rate," and all the things that they were saying. I get it now. I didn't see it then, but I definitely understand it now. But I still love it. I still miss it.
Love it. The great Ryan Sam.
I liked how you said all that. Thank you, sir. It was a fun pay-per-view. It was fun to go back through memory lane, and I hope that TNA can like get some of that magic back again. I feel like a lot of people haven't watched TNA in a long period of time, and I think they have the talent. Even now, I think they have the talent, and I hope very much well for them. But talking about this pay-per-view, it was fun going back. Highlights. You know what? I'm going to go a different route here. I maybe the knockouts wasn't presented very well here, but I do like that these women were given an opportunity to showcase what they can do. And I think that the women that with the time and what they were given, they did the best that they could. I when I was watching this back, I was like, man, the Beautiful People was such a great fucking act. Like, just a tremendous act. I mean, it was something amazing. And honestly, not for nothing, when I'm watching this, I'm like, yo, this is so mid-2000. Which is not a bad thing. It's just a product of its time. Matter of fact, real quick, I feel like we didn't mention this, and I just wanted to because the commentary team was fucking hilarious at this. You know, the Beautiful People come out and, you know, they shake their butts and everything. There's one with Kip James, and he lays up, and, you know, his legs is up. And you see Don West says, "Oh man, he ruined everything for me, man."
Flag on the play. Yes, that was ridiculous.
I thought that was so funny, but I enjoyed the pay-per-view, and I look forward to doing more TNA content here on the Big Pop Theory podcast, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts about this because you're the TNA guy, Rich Kinks.
You know. They call me like, hey, when they need some advice to TNA, who do you call? Not me. You call Mark Wynn. So what I would say is my favorite part of the pay-per-view, the highlight of it, is what I realized for this pay-per-view event is reffing is optional. So what I realized, like, you know, we're here to watch a wrestling event or a wrestling event, and we're not going to be the superstars of the match. We're just going to let you do whatever, and then we'll decide when to count to 3. So I appreciated the honesty they gave to us. We did get some wrestling matches. Whether it was favorable or things we wanted to see, I don't know. But reffing was optional in Final Resolution. So I appreciated that. And I'm going to pass it back off to you, the great Grand Slam, to wrap us up.
Wait. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Final Resolution number 2 of 2008?
I would give it a 6. I appreciated the first one a little bit more than the second one. The first one,
wow.
I see Christian get his ass kicked, so that gave a little higher. And then they had the X Division match with Team 3D, and I saw Jay Lethal and them trying to grab on the ropes. It was just a different feel. I think that was more.
They had an Ultimate X match.
Wow, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I almost feel like in January we might have to like hit this back.
Yeah.
yeah.
It was really, really good to see that. And then we also had the Awesome Kong and Gail Kim match. So I think I'm now comparing 2 resolutions back to back. So when I saw that one, I'm like, oh. And I see this one, I'm like, okay, this is still good. But it was like I said, the referees was just great. And then like I just didn't appreciate Awesome Kong losing like that. I mean, it should not. No, I'm sorry, no. And that just brought it a little bit for me.
I do appreciate that you mentioned the stuff about the ref because, like you said, ref is optional. But like one of the things that I do appreciate that was picked about this Final Resolution was because like we don't talk about what's his name? Not Shane. Shane, yes. And I feel like because that was like a joke for us years ago. Like we were just talking about that. This ref is just beating the shit out of people, and then we just thought it was hilarious. And it's funny because like you're watching his back. Like when I saw him, I remember because he has such a like demeaning look, like not a demeaning look. He has a look like when you recognize him, you mean like, oh, this guy. Like he do like if I was on the E train, I saw him. I'm not getting on that E train. Like that can go. So like it was so cool that we got to see this, and like I said, it was so nostalgic going through this, and I hope that we get to do more TNA reviews on these on this podcast here. But you know, I'm not going to switch anything here. I'm going to first things first is to give the floor to give thanks to one Rich Kings because you did a fantastic job hosting this and keeping it together here and stuff like that. It's not an easy thing to do, but yet you make it look so effortlessly. That's so terrible. You make it seem very easy because I mispronounced that word and I'm not editing that out.
Effortlessly is the word you're looking for.
Hey.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a mic. All I'm saying is this is not water, but but real quick here, this is the Big Pop Theory podcast. We do retrospects here on YouTube, and we're going to keep doing that for the month of December. We're going to keep the thing going till as long as we can go. I look forward to what December holds, January, February, and all these other months coming up. So with all that said here, I'd like to give the floor to you gentlemen. I'm going to give you the floor last here, Rich Kings. But Mark Wins, you're doing stuff. The weather outside is frightful. See, I know how to say all that. But where can people find you, Mark Wins?
You can find me on YouTube at Legend Number M. I got some. I've slowed down a little bit because things, but I should be picking it back up soon because it is cold. And I am inside, and I am playing video games, so I need to document this stuff, document the games that I'm playing, and talk shit about the games that I'm playing, and talk shit about things adjacent to the games that I'm playing. So yeah, find me on Legend Number M. Find me on YouTube at Legend Number M.
Rich Kings. Sal, where can people find you, handsome?
Yeah, right. You're going to great.
I am great.
The Big Pop Theory podcast with these lovely gentlemen. I might be doing something soon. Stay tuned.
I love that so much because you should. You do a fantastic job on hosting here. I know we're going to continue hosting some things. We'll talk about it after this recording here, but we want to say thank you for watching this, and we hope that you enjoyed going down memory lane. If you have any suggestions for us, we're open to anything that is available to us. If it's TNA, we're open to it. If it's WCW, we're open to it. WWE, we've done, I mean, in the month of November, it was nothing but Survivor Series. We're open to, I didn't say ECW. ECW. We're open to even Monday night episodes, SmackDown episodes. If there's a episode where you're like, man, I would love to hear your thoughts about that, we're open for it. We're open for all that. So follow the Big Pop Theory podcast on Instagram. Follow it on Twitter. It's not as active, but maybe we'll get that being a thing moving forward. And on YouTube, you're watching us on YouTube. So the Big Pop Theory Podcast 23. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification. And we have a Gmail at the Big Pop Theory Podcast at gmail.com. So you can send us questions or suggestions or what you think we could do better. And that's really the show. So we'll be back. We thank you for watching this recording. And matter of fact, we'll put up this. We gotta get the graphic up so people know that it's the end of the show. I should have had everything like totally prepared, and I did not. That's such a rookie thing. There we go. Look at that lovely graphic. The main event Mafias. The main event Mafia. If you're in the age of like your late 30s, you relate to the main event Mafia. If you're in your early 20s, we should just kick you. You should stay away from people in their late 30s. Mm-hmm.
And keep your shitty frontline music.
Produced by DJ Kali. I like DJ Kali. I'm so sorry, DJ. Anyway, that's the show. Thank you for watching.